There we are. I believe we are live. Come on in, everybody. We see you out there. We appreciate you being here. Let me switch my Facebook around before I forget, which I seem to do a lot of lately.
It's good to see
Still
Glenn.
Set for private.
Glenn back?
Yeah, Glenn's in the house, folks. Yeah. Glad you're here. Russ and I carried this off last week by ourselves.
No. How soon I forget?
Not Russ. I'm sorry, Rex and I did this last week. Say what?
My initials are UP, underappreciated. No, wait.
Yeah.
Underappreciated.
What? UP.
Oh dear. And with that, folks, that's the end of the show.
Yeah. Oh, what is this? Come explain.
It's 4 a.m, Glenn. What do you want from me? 4 a.m.
I'm going to have to cancel the Twitter feed for Indie Comics Net, it looks like, over on X. That's not good. Come on in, folks. Nope, it's got a check next to it now. So here we go.
Indie Comics in the house.
Indie Comics in the house. Good morning.
Mm-hmm.
Must have fixed it on their end. We're glad you're here, folks. We've got a great book to look at today, The Cimmerian, Book 1. Some great barbarian stuff. And we'll get to that just as soon as we run our opening. So here we go.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with the...
In the time before Atlantis sank and the lands of the world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny. Leaving his Atlantean tribe behind and throwing off the shackles of Cimmerian bondage, he sailed the seas as a pirate captain before seizing his place as a king. And now that he has the throne, how long will he be able to keep it? This is the Shadow Kingdom, the classic sword and sorcery tale by Robert E. Howard, adapted by Randy Zimmerman, with artwork by Russ Leach. Available now at funmycomic.com. Funmycomic.com, folks. Shadow Kingdom. Go over there and take a look. It's going to be a great product. We're over 55% to our goal. Looking really good. So,
excellent.
Hello, everybody. Glad you're here. I'm your host, Randy Zimmerman, editor-in-chief at Arrow Comics and happy podcaster on the Indie Comics Network. Wherever you're watching us from, we deeply appreciate you being here. And we hope you leave a comment, a like, over on the Indie Comics Network. You can actually leave us little tips, little stars, and help the Indie Comics Network on their expenses. So all of the money from that that we get from there goes for the Indie Comics Network, which is ever growing. And,
before we get rolling, I would like to say happy birthday to my sister, who, I was talking with Glenn the day it happened, I think.
The day your sister was born?
No, the day I found out last year.
Oh, yeah.
I had a sister, and I was talking to Glenn.
Oh, really?
I just had some big news. Sorry, I'm late.
Wow.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Rex's sister.
Yeah, there you are. Okay. Happy birthday, Rex's sister.
She's like, don't remind me, Glenn. That's what she told me. Don't remind me. older sister.
Oh,
Mike,
Love
Jimmy
you,
in the
Andy.
house. Mike, Jimmy, hope you're doing well. You're
Mike.
welcome
Hey,
in
Mike.
if you'd like to join us. This is sadly not jumping in today. I'm on baby duty
Oh, no.
the entire weekend. Yeah, there you
Oh,
are.
Have fun with that.
Yeah. Get yourself the Shadow Kingdom here. There you are. Thanks, Mike, Jimmy. Appreciate you very much.
When he says weekend, he includes Friday. So yeah, he's really in for it.
Oh yeah, for the whole weekend.
It's not the weekend yet, but sure.
If only people would realize the consequences of their actions.
Glenn, that's easy
Yeah.
for you to say.
Yeah.
Glenn, have you ever visited the Crooked House in England?
No.
It
Where is
leans.
it?
No.
Where is it?
Oh, I had to look it up. But yeah, I read an article about it. I said, man, Glenn's been everywhere. Surely he's seen it.
I haven't been everywhere in England.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. I'll go to Easter Island, the ends of the world.
Yeah, the only places I know in England are airports.
Okay.
So we can get the hell out of here,
I'll try and find that article so that
Okay.
I can tell you exactly where it is, and maybe you can go visit it.
Mike Jimmy says my weekend started yesterday,
Yeah.
Rex.
Yeah, I can believe that.
Okay. Oh wow. So include part of Thursday. Wow, you
There you
are
go.
in for it. Take care
Yeah,
of that.
hope you have a great weekend, Mike Jimmy. Yeah.
I retract my statement. I agree with Glenn. If only.
Well, like I told you
just-
before, enjoy this time because you'll blink and it'll be gone. So
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
And they'll be out and you'll be going, where did it all
Yep.
go? Yeah.
Where did it all go?
Happens quicker than you know. I mean, my daughter's in her 40s, Wow.
I tell her she's older than I tell my daughter she's older than me. Every time she tells me how old she is. I'm like, well, that makes you older than me. Yeah. The Cimmerian folks from Ablaze Publishing.
Dad
Adapting,
joke confirmed.
Pardon?
Dad
what?
joke confirmed.
Dad joke confirmed.
Yeah. Do you tell dad jokes? Or just
Probably
bad
too
jokes?
much. Yeah, a little
Okay.
of both.
Okay.
I don't know how many people have seen this product. It's been out for just a couple of years. I think it's copyrighted in 2000 and what are we looking at here?
Nice hardback.
2018. Beautiful product. Yeah.
Who published this, Randy?
This is Ablaze. Ablaze Publishing out of
Oh, okay.
I think of the West Coast. That's where they're at. Looking where their offices are.
I like the negative image there. Can you turn back a page and let us see that little vignette there? Oh, that's nice. Is that a lizard? Is that like dinosaurs?
Yeah, it's what. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's what.
that's nice.
This book adapts Queen of the
Black.
Black Coast and Red Nails.
Mm-hmm.
So these are, adapted from Robert E. Howard, yeah.
Yeah. They part of their advertising, their Main Street, Oregon, Portland, Oregon's where they're out of. Their promotional for this says that they're faithfully adapting the Robert E. Howard stories, which is probably why we're not going to be able to show the second volume, which adapts the Frost Giant's daughter, because there's a girl that's topless in it pretty much through the whole story.
Right.
Beautifully done, though. I'm telling you, it's the artwork on these works are just gorgeous.
So
That's why
we can show people being murdered, but we can't show that.
It's basically the way it is. Yeah.
That's why they give you more, a whole pad of Post-it notes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this would be Post-it note crazy, actually. There's a few great shots of strategic, coverage, but for the most part, she's flaunting herself in front of Conan pretty heavily. So,
Well, save it till after the show, will you?
yeah. Queen of the Black Coast. It's the first book done by, adapted by Jean-David Morvan and Pierre Allery. Today's Sedius is the colorist. Desi Cienti, it looks like it's the letterer.
Wow, look at that snake. Windsor, England, Glenn. Crooked House.
Windsor. Right.
Uh-huh.
Down near Windsor Castle.
They say that there may be an underground tunnel, connected with that house, that one of the kings slipped through that tunnel and came out in that house to have an affair.
I could tell you about a tunnel affair, about the place where I live.
Would be a wouldn't that be a rendezvous? A rendezvous.
Yes.
Rendezvous.
But that's French, so we won't go there.
No.
I like the way this city's built right to the edge. I hope it doesn't start to collapse like the White Cliffs of Dover are doing. Fall back into the sea.
I think we may be more in danger today with all these sinkholes opening up around the world.
Yeah.
Have you seen some of those? Some of them are massive and they're deep.
Yeah, scary, aren't they?
It's because of the vast system of tunnels that has been dug over the centuries.
Yeah, it's also the lava flows. It's just the earth reclaiming.
It's
just the earth reclaiming everything, isn't it? Doesn't give a damn, does it?
Yep.
No, it recycles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When nothing.
That'll be your last thought once you hit the lava pit.
Yeah.
And so they figure it recycles every 12,000 years anyway.
Russ, you think not
13,000
Russ, but Glenn, you think they use like inks or watercolors for this or digital?
I was just looking at that. I don't think it's digital. I'm not sure though.
It looks traditional.
Yeah.
If it is, it's somebody who really knows how to make
exactly
digital file look like it's done original. Yeah. Look at that ship back there.
Mm-hmm. But look at the second panel on the second page where I guess those are leaves or hanging clothes.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like
clothes,
flags. Clothes, yeah.
Just frames it in really good.
Yeah.
Along with the one that's underneath it, it's framed in really nice to show you the main principal character there.
I don't like that. I don't like that third panel, the way they've split that, the way he's put that heavy line around that town on the second page. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that works very well.
Yeah, that stands out a little harshly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look real, does it?
No.
It looks like a cutout type of thing.
And it's already gridded off. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like it was necessary, but he might have laid down that line and gone, "Oh, oops."
Yeah. I like the on the fourth panel under the horse jumping over, like the Ditko blinds look on that guy, on his shirt. That's clever.
It is. Just great stuff.
Yeah, it's very getting a bit cartoony, isn't it?
A bit, yeah.
But it works. It works nicely.
It's very stylish. That's the fun with this work, is these guys got a free hand to do it the way that they wanted.
The guard with the spear there looks so, right there. It looks so comical, almost like a Ralph Bakshi Wizards type guy or something.
Yeah. It looks a little muddy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The coloring.
It does.
It does.
It looks a little dark. Yeah.
And also, the size of the artwork doesn't fit the page, does it?
No.
So there's been some kind of
extra border.
Mm-hmm.
But they say didn't harshly stretch it. So
in these instances, I had to wonder: all right, was that the artist or was that the artist? Was that the printer? Not getting it true.
It's probably the person who put the print file together.
Yeah, it's probably also, it's easier for the printer to do it, A4 or whatever size it is. It's not A4, is it? Whatever size it is, rather than trim those pages to fit the artwork.
This looks standard comic book size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a nice panel, just a close-up of the galloping feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But a little muddy, though.
Yeah.
It all looks a little muddy.
I think it's meant to be a little dark for realistic purposes, quote unquote.
Adding a little grit in there.
Yeah.
It's nicely detailed though, with
Mm-hmm.
you know, with the city in the background and everything, and then the second page there, you cut to a couple of cutouts where he's coming up for air and when he's dragging himself onto the boat.
Yeah.
So it's and obviously the second with the arrows coming in. It's very good. Quite enjoying this.
But when I compare that to the Buscema preliminary drawing I have, where there's a similar situation where he's going underwater and coming up for air or swimming underneath with all the bubbles, it's just so much more dramatic when Buscema does it.
Well, you can't.
Yeah,
not everybody can hit that drama
Mm-hmm.
that Buscema does. The dynamics he does are amazing.
Well, just his choice of angles, you know,
Yeah.
everything that he does.
Yeah.
They're just spot on.
Mhm.
And I really hated it when, that's probably why I didn't appreciate Savage Sword of Conan magazine, because they would not put on always the best inkers. And it just would kill the energy, you know, or maybe someone that is an inker that has puts his own stamp on it, like Ernie Chan. Some people may like Ernie Chan over Buscema. I like some of it. Some of it's kind of, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Anything Ernie Chan does, he puts his stamp on.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think an inker's job is maybe to enhance the artist, but not maybe overshadow or some whatever that takes to make the artist look good.
Well, we've covered this before. We said about Joe Sinnott on Kirby and Giacoya on Kirby, to be specific, where those two inkers are fabulous inkers, and especially on Kirby. But you can always tell it's Kirby, and that's the most important thing. You can't obliterate the pencil.
Well, now you probably seen Joe Sinnott on Fantastic Four #6.
Number 5, Dr. Doom.
Was it 5? Okay, with Dr. Doom, right? And that's his only one in the early years.
Yeah.
And then it was years, maybe a decade later. I don't know when he.
No, it wasn't that long. It was about 4 years.
Okay, 4 years when he started inking, like around issue 42 or somewhere when the Inhumans were coming in.
That's right. Yeah, 45, I think it was.
Yeah, and but now you can and arguably, I mean, I think he was the except for Ditko. I love Dink. He's probably my favorite over Kirby. Issue 13 and the cover to 14, and that was all that Ditko did on the Fantastic Four.
I think Ditko tends to be one of those inkers who swamps another person's pencils, to be honest. Yeah. Okay. I can still see Kirby through it, but I think Ditko is very, very stylized.
Yeah.
And
I kind of like that over Kirby, though.
Well, yeah, but I would prefer Joe Sinnott or Giacoya over Kirby. But that's just my preference.
Then anybody remember Tom Palmer doing any inking over Kirby? That would have been interesting.
I think Tom Palmer, didn't he do the Inhumans book? Was it Astonishing Tales?
Maybe.
There's an
that Amazing Adventures?
I wouldn't doubt it. Yep.
Yeah. I think there was Tom Palmer. I might be thinking Sam Granger.
I bet you Palmer. I bet you I would be surprised if he didn't ink Kirby at some point.
Yeah.
On something.
I can't remember ever seeing it, but
I hope he did.
I had a buddy that was working at Marvel, and he had a very individual style. Got to do a fill-in issue for the Avengers. And, he was so excited when he found out Tom Palmer was going to ink it until he looked at it when it was published, and it looked like Tom Palmer.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I remember that
knocked his style right out.
Kirby did a Kazar story with Sam Granger inks, and I remember seeing that. I think it was it was just before Kirby left in 1970. And I remember seeing that distinctly and thinking, why is this guy not doing more on Kirby? Sam Granger, because he's so good.
Yeah.
It's sad that he Kirby did so many things at the same time. and he just did not get very many good inkers, I think, on Fantastic Four the early years.
No.
But better than on his Avengers stuff, I think.
Or his Thor run when Coletta was on it. Oh my goodness! Whenever you look at those, it just it hurts me.
Yeah. Well, and he did so many of them, and so many people grew up on that, and they probably wouldn't, they'd probably fight you over taking Colette off there and actually putting another inker on. But I think his line's a little weak for Kirby.
Such a classic run, and then you've got this scratchy Coletta on it that I don't know. I don't like his inking style at all.
I quite like Coletta on Thor because it gives it like a European look. But it's when you find out what he was doing with the artwork that's that pisses me off. Deleting half of it and silhouetting half of it, and and I told you, Kirby said, I think Kirby asked for him to be removed because he said to Stan Lee, if I've got time to draw it, he's got time to ink it.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yep.
Did he take him off of it?
I think he did. He put George.
It took a while.
George Klein on it, and for a couple of issues, and Everett. Bill Everett was on it for a few issues.
Bill couldn't handle a regular grind.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
he couldn't handle much, could he?
No. Well, when he did during that period, he was incredible, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he was super stylized, and just his Submariner work was beautiful, but he would do, every other issue or so, pretty much.
And Daredevil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Submariner, yeah.
Some great stuff. The thing we keep forgetting, at least I do, is that all of that work was done within a period of 5-6 years. Boom.
Yeah.
And
incredible, wasn't it?
Yeah, just incredible stuff for the time.
I mean,
go on. And with Ditko, I can see him not wanting to ink very much because he wanted to do his own stuff.
Yeah.
That was a big push for Ditko.
Well, I mean, if you want Ditko over Kirby, you had to go to the Atlas, just pre, the 50s, early 60s monster stuff.
Yeah.
But now there's those gems where he inked, like the first appearance of the Watcher and the Red Ghost and the Super Apes, and 13 in the cover to 14 with Submariner on it. And I just think that's brilliant job on those issues.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, that you said about all that work being done in 4 or 5 years, which is true. And despite what you might think about people and what you've heard and what we talk about before, it's incredible to think that as I read it, Stan Lee would take an issue of a book home at night and write the script for it at home. A book a day, as well as his editorial work at work, and that's the standard that he reached with I mean, I know the dialogue's a bit quirky and a bit silly, but it was fun, wasn't it? And given all the other stories we know about, it was incredible that he got out that amount of work as well, even the credits and all that sort of stuff, but he was still putting those words on those books every night. And I find that amazing.
I could see that as a way to unwind for him, sitting around with a glass of his favorite beverage and just having a ball, putting words in everybody's mouth. Yeah. These guys already had the pacing down, knew how to do a 22 page structure.
A lot of people don't talk about this, but I think Stan Lee liked comics.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to be a fan of comics to be in the business as long as he did. And I know when he was doing Spider-Man Fantastic Four #1 that he was wanting to get out of it, because, and I would have at that point too. He was doing romance, westerns, and different, things that weren't that exciting at the time, till the superhero genre came back in.
Also, from what I understand, is his uncle was a shit for a boss.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
And kind of a tyrant, and a lot of the was riding his back a lot. He ended up with that job.
I'm just glad he lived long enough to see a little respect for comics. I mean, that's kind of ebbed and flowed, but he tells a story about, I'm a writer. Well, what do you write? I write, I don't know what he said, but they eventually get down to
write stories. What kind of stories?
Yeah, what kind of stories? Oh, adventurous. Oh, really? Like what titles?
Yeah.
I write comics, and then the conversation would end at that point at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is a great panel there with that boat on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have been inclined to get the word balloons out of there as well and just leave it like that, but it is a good. I like that panel.
There's a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, see those feet at the top hanging above the guy hanging. They look very Jack Davis mad, don't they?
I was going to say Jack Davis. Yeah. Yep. Those are heads on pikes, aren't they?
Yeah.
Bad day for somebody.
Nice.
Bad day for a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, probably the whole village. It does look a little muddled though when you get into crowd scenes and stuff, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's the palette. Yeah.
It's the palette.
The palette used is dark and muddy, but that's kind of the theme for the story too, because they're in.
Andy, you make excuses for it. You go right ahead.
Yeah. All right.
Let's try that.
Let's try that.
Yeah, a lot of red on that one.
Yeah. A little bit of fighting going on.
Wow. It is good though, isn't it? See that first page, the center panel at the bottom? It looks very Chinese, doesn't it? Japanese.
64.
You know what I mean? That you can see the shapes. Looks like Chinese.
I'm sorry, did Glenn just make a racist statement? I missed it.
No, he wasn't racist at all. It was
just influence. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I like the hot colors, man. Of course, red's my favorite color, but it goes good with that yellow, that gold, that sienna there.
Mm-hmm.
The flame, I guess.
Yeah.
That integrates pretty good. You get into the crowd scenes like that's in the middle of that red. It reminds me of like Eric Powell's The Goon sort of palette, sort of noirish,
Mm-hmm. Could see that.
It's not a bad palette. It just, do you think the downsizing hurt it, Glenn? I mean, this is like full bleed on this all the way to the edge.
No, I just think it's like Randy said. I just think it's a muddy palette. I don't know, because I was thinking maybe it's the printing, but the pages seem to be quite nice.
The print job on this is beautiful.
Yeah, the page stock looks good.
It's a lush palette, but I think it needs to pop more.
Yeah. Well, it gets the especially on a page like this where you have all of this detail going on.
Mm-hmm.
You pretty much just covers it with one color and then goes through and adds a bunch of other little color to it. There's a lot of orange back here.
I guess those are the cannibals trying to kill everyone.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah,
I think.
It's just very much a pirate story here.
Right.
Conan gets chased off that cliff, ends up on a pirate ship, and goes, "Okay, I run this."
What were you going to say, Glenn?
I was going to say that what I would have done, and this is just me, let's call it the right-hand page there, the background panel, the whole panel, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would, and then you've got those inset panels. I would have done the outside panel, the main page. I'd have done that in a grey wash.
Yeah.
And it would have stood out more because it just blends in with the rest. It's quite confusing until you get right into it.
That's my main thing about this is it doesn't have enough contrast.
Yeah.
You always have to keep contrast in mind.
Even thin white panel borders here might have broke that up a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or thicker black ones.
Yeah, or much thicker black ones. Yeah,
that's what I would have done. That the main panel drawing, I would have done that in a wash, Payne's grey or something.
Somebody named Holder 6480 says, "Good morning, Devil Flyer Momentum."
Oh yes.
Good morning.
All that. Good morning.
Glad you're here with us. Mike Jimmy says, "Not everyone can be 21 with taxes." Randy, well, everyone can, but few actually took the part to. Looked the part too. Yeah.
Is that guy on the right hand page? The guy at the top, has he got a Punisher T-shirt on? Can you see it?
Oh, the skull.
Yeah. Bell. Right here. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got his Punisher T-shirt on. It is. Oh, it's very good though. It's just a bit muddy, just a bit muddy, but it is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of action, lots of movement in it.
That's Howard. The story is like that anyway. It's very moving, very pulpy.
You can tell the dominant palette colors that he likes to use.
Oranges and red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like browns, for the city or the cliffs.
Yeah, it is good. I like the way he changes as well. He's I don't know, but it looks to me like he's clearly thinking about what it's going to look like published. So, for example, he's got on the left-hand page there, it's all got closed borders, closed panels, and all that. And then on the other page, it's all open.
And that hit me immediately.
And I think that's a conscious thing on his part. He's seen it in double spreads.
It lets it breathe when you open it up like that.
That's right. Yeah.
Who's the artist on this again, Randy?
It is
Is it somebody Alari? Pierre Alari.
Pierre, Alari. Then there's a separate colorist. Said yes.
Yeah. Inker? I mean, is he doing his own ink?
No, yeah.
Pierre is probably doing both pencils and inks here.
Is he French?
It sounds like they're all French, I think.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But again, it does have that European look to it, doesn't it?
They use a wide variety of artists, a different one for every story, it looks like. Yeah, mostly European. Very much in that style, though. Very much in that look.
Yeah.
Well, man, I mean, there's a lot of people doing Conan or trying to do Conan now. I mean, I saw something maybe through Diamond or something. It was like 12 different titles, if not more.
Well, Titan's got the license, but a lot of the stuff's in public domain.
Right.
So anybody can really do it.
Was this published? I mean, where's this published? Is this published in Europe?
No, it's published out of Oregon.
Out of Oregon?
But I'm sure it was all arranged and published over in Europe before they got a hold of it here.
Oh, so would this be a reprint for the States in English?
More like a collection, yeah.
Okay.
That's why they have 2 stories per book. They came out in regular books or albums over in Europe, and then they put 2 stories together per book.
It would
so far there's 4 books in the series. All of them are nice, hardback, well produced. Just real.
But we can't see volume 2 because of Tatas.
Well, I can show you the front story, but the back story has got, let's say, Tatas flowing freely on a lot of it. Some of it is just incredibly well done. I mean, the story is great too. Frost Giant's Daughter is one of my favorite Conan stories. But
how many stories did he write? Because he was only 30 when he died. How many stories did he write?
Oh, he wrote like a madman for 3 or 4 years. Again, his stuff was all in a very concentrated time frame.
Short stories, not like
short stories,
like you said, just like 2 novels, and one of them was incomplete.
Well, one of them, the Conan novel he did was a collection of short stories he just strung together into one narrative.
Am I right in thinking? I'm sure I read this the other day about him. he produced a few stories and wasn't getting paid, and his mother was ill, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And he was getting disillusioned. He was going to have to stop writing. And then he got his breakthrough. Somebody gave him a break on a big magazine or something, and he got 4 times the pay, which enabled him to write rather than go and get a job or whatever.
Well, it's
say a job, you know.
the guy doing Weird Tales owed him a lot of money.
Right.
Towards the end of his life, I guess he was owed $1,500, which back then was a small fortune.
Yeah.
For a bunch of stories they had printed. He had to stop doing Conan and stop writing for Weird Tales because the guy wasn't paying. And he ended up doing Steve Costigan, I believe. It's a very humorous boxer strip series that there's a number of stories out that I don't think anybody's really reprinted all of them. All of the Steve Costigan stories. I've heard a couple of them on audio, and they're hilarious, but they're very dated. There's a lot of racial stereotypes, a lot of racial epithets throughout.
Maybe that's why.
So did he never get that money?
Not as far as I know. He was still.
I just went on the calculator there. It's about 35 grand now.
Yeah, the state was indebted to it. I don't know if they ever caught up to him or not. Probably not. I also know that he was like Edgar Rice Burroughs after he passed. They quite a few years after Howard had passed, they go through his effects and find an entire trunk full of stories that were never printed. So you have to be really careful about which stories are in or out of public domain. Like with Cull, there's about 8 or 9 total stories, but only 3 of them, really 2.5, because he makes an appearance in Bran McMorn's story. There's really 2 Cull stories that are in public domain.
So does that mean because he made an appearance in the other story that carries over?
Yeah.
Right. Got you.
Well, he's a ghost in the other story. Bran McMorn is actually the lead in it, and he's trying to put a bunch of troops together from the stray tribes in the area to fight off the big bad. And the unifying factor is during a big thunderstorm, rainstorm, the ghost of Cull pops up and pretty much unifies everybody, and they all go out and have a big war.
Right.
It's a great story. Pardon?
That's what barbarians do.
That's what barbarians do. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Cull was really his first barbarian type creation like that. And that Cull is the character that's most, from what they say, it was most like Howard, because he was so introspective, and Cull has a bad tendency to overthink, where Conan just has a tendency to jump into the middle of stuff and start cutting things up. So very much your macho barbarian.
Do Cull and Conan ever meet?
No, there are hundreds of years between them.
Right.
They're supposed to be in the same
universe,
lineage,
so to speak.
Yeah, the same lineage.
So Cull is first.
Yeah.
Right. So Conan would know about Cull, but Cull wouldn't know about Conan.
Yeah, Cull would be a legend.
Yeah.
Because that at the point of Conan, Atlantis has sank. It's a couple hundred years later.
Right.
And barbarianism is pretty much runs the land. And that's where Conan comes out of. Where with Cull, it's before Atlantis became technologically advanced.
Right.
Let's put it that way. And coordinated. Cull was a big coordinator of that. He starts out as king of Valusia, and then gathers the other smaller kingdoms around and just makes one great big nation of Atlantis.
Right. These 2 pages here are very sensual, aren't they? I mean, look at that, the girl's eyes, and then the dance. Look at that, those hands, the way that she's dancing. And at the bottom left of the page.
It's a bottom left, right?
Yeah. Other page with the hands.
Randy.
But it's you know.
Yeah.
And as before Rex tells me I'm racist again, I'm going to say this: it's a very Middle Eastern kind of dance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very biblical kind of movement. The way the
I
lady
was going to
is.
say Salome.
And if that's racist, well, the truth can't be racist.
Yeah, a belly dancer type.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Well, Thousand Veils.
Those
Arabian Nights.
Those eyes are amazing, aren't they? On the other page, middle of and that picture there with that picture there with her bottom and whatever she's going on is very very sensual. That
I think I saw that scene in Octopussy.
Right. Okay.
Love the border work here on the last panel.
Remember they had the circus and no, I'm serious. I was kidding, but had the veils and the.
I don't remember that bit.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie too.
Yeah,
quite a while.
How dare you? It's a James Bond movie.
Even
if you watch those every other day, it'll make a man out of you.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. Hey, when I want to cheer myself up, I watch a Bond movie.
I haven't sat through a Roger Moore Bond film in a long time. Just, I would say, decades.
Do you know? I've.
How dare you?
I think I've seen about 30 seconds of Dalton. Is it?
Yeah.
Did he make two?
Two or three.
Two or three. Yeah.
Well, I've seen 30 seconds of all of that. I've never seen him as Bond, other than I think he's driving a tank or something.
You're right.
I think the Dalton material is the most dated out of all of them that are, just set. They were trying to be modern and hip.
Yeah, I think one of the best ones to me is Lazenby.
Yes, I do too. I didn't like it because it was a romance love story.
Yeah.
But with Diane Rigg, hubba hubba.
Yeah.
His Majesty's Secret Service.
You got Joanna Lumley's in it as well.
Yeah.
He really should have done another one, at least one more.
Well, he got he listened to his agent, didn't he? Apparently, his agent said he should ask for more money, and he did, and they said, "See you later."
Yeah. He did make one more Bond appearance. Do you know what it was?
No.
It was A Man from U.N.C.L.E., 1985 film, when he's driving his Aston Martin and he saves Solo from being killed in his Aston Martin with all of the tricks. And the license plate says JB on it.
Funny.
Because they couldn't call him Bond,
Right. Yep.
But he got to make a second appearance. I think that's cool.
Yeah. Look at the difference now between those eyes when she's dancing and then her eyes now.
Mm-hmm.
They're all a bit wonky, aren't they now?
Yeah. She looks a little worried there.
Or a little vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
That's
she's got her man. So
that's a great movie shot between those branches at the bottom, isn't it? You can imagine the camera going in, can't you?
Yep.
Right.
Just going right in there. It's really clever. It's really good stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
When it comes to I guess movies have always influenced comics, but we've been having decades of it. Can't help but think cinematically, after seeing so many great directors do so many great shots, cameramen.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Tree goblins in the house. Morning, tree goblin.
Then you got to remember as well that George Lucas and Spielberg grew up on comics, didn't they? And that's why there's a lot of that stuff in their films. Like Indiana Jones is like a Pulp Fiction type of person, isn't he? And all this kind of thing.
But both of them love film, and they both study even silent movies.
Yeah.
Some of the most mysterious stuff and scary stuff, I think, was done in silent movies.
Mm-hmm. And Indiana Jones is right out of those theater serials.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Technically, so Star Wars, but
I think one of the best films ever made to me is that Nosferatu one. That's really scary, isn't it? The way he stands up out out of his coffin, he just comes up straight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, and then just all the shadows, the German expressionism, and the cabinet of Dr. Kilgary.
But it made me laugh when I first saw it. When is he walking down the streets of London with a coffin under his arm, looking for somewhere to put it? Can you imagine that? Well, seeing somebody walk past your house with a coffin under their arm.
I think he's probably the most. I mean, they were returning from the war, and he was more rat-like. That he was meant to be.
Yeah.
Disease, vermin, pestilence.
Well, it's a tribute to Bela Lugosi, really, that he's not that Nosferatu isn't looked at as the standard vampire.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's kind of set the romantic tone for vampire.
The guy who played Nosferatu, that image of him with the bald head and the long fingers is visited in Salem's Lot, isn't it?
And and the pointed ears too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just see him like stills of him sitting alone in makeup, it's creepy.
Yeah. Max Gorick, I want to say. I could be wrong.
Max Schreck. Is it?
Max Schreck. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And like he's looking through the window pane like bars.
Yeah.
You know, and they do a close up of him. It's
there's some incredible, imagery from that era because they had to show more than tell.
Yeah.
And that anybody that is into comics or drawing comics and that will do themselves good to look at a lot of that older old silent movies and the old noir film noir material just to see mood and shadow. And
well, this is what I've said many times, that the words are just scenery, aren't they? They're just explaining who people are, what the name is. You don't need to know the name. You just need to know this guy can stretch and hit somebody 20 yards away. You know what I mean? Not that the words aren't good. I'm just saying that that's what people, in my opinion, should look at. An artist should look at. He should look at the movement of the panels to tell the story. He shouldn't need the script to explain.
Yeah.
Look how he uses negative space here. I mean, it's really positive, but it's done in wide.
It's really good.
Yeah, especially like the the waves down below under the ship.
Yeah.
Easily done, but you had to think that thing through,
Yeah. Cool.
And then the right-hand page, the mood, it's gone dark and
I mean, it's cluttered, it's like, okay, one page to breathe on and then the other
gets a lot more crowded. There's a lot more dialogue there too.
Yeah, there's a lot of panels there. I mean,
there are.
I mean, Randy, you've been giving us stuff with a lot of panels.
Just before you turn the page, the first on that right-hand page, that first where the silhouette of the ship, I like the way the ship is halfway on that almost 3/4 page panel, and he's left a lot of black. To give the depth of it on the water,
volume and distance.
And
then the colorist with the graduated tone of the lighting helps out a lot.
And there's a few stars out there.
I've got to wonder, did the artist put that in there, or did he indicate, okay, this is what it's supposed to be, maybe a note, and the colorist did it?
Could be.
Well, yeah, because I mean that looks like digital there.
Yeah,
the shade, it does.
Yeah, the graduation. There might be some of that graduated background in that third panel there too, right? It's hard to tell.
Yeah,
here just a little.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, goes from dark to light.
A little darker.
Of course, the colorist may have used everything. He might have used the brush to paint it and then in Photoshop do that graduated
enhance it. Yeah, I had no problem with that as long as you use it as a tool. I mean, I love like on movies where they use practical models, but they can use enhancement digitally. I'm fine with that.
Honestly, I think he's just that good of a painter, to tell you the truth. Either that or he's really skillful in Photoshop.
if I only have a choice of one, practical or all digital, give me practical, because there's something that digital, it doesn't, when it's all digital, your mind says this is not real.
Yeah.
And I think it has to do with lighting more than anything.
Yeah. He's got some great
Your
tone
mind
work here.
knows the difference.
Do a little bit of smoke here.
Yeah,
that might be. You might be right. It might be added digitally.
Yeah,
This definitely looks painted here.
Yeah, that whole page there. That's we were talking a few weeks ago about what do I cut? Less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like Toth and others that the least amount that I can do. Although I don't think this artist is trying to do that. This is a good kind of an example though of where you can do with negative space less.
Reminds me a lot of the tricks that Alex Nino does.
Yeah.
It's about taking chances and things to pull it off, because if you look at on the right hand page on the third panel down, it doesn't draw her eye. You'd be able to see the bottom of her eye. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And he's not done that, and he's not done that, so it doesn't clutter the outline of.
Here, you mean?
No, the next panel. She's got
down here.
Yeah, her right eye is missing. You'd be able to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's not done it, and I think that's really clever, really dangerous to do, but great that he's tried it because it works.
Yeah,
right. It's so close, and it would not look right with it in there. It would look crammed, and you'd like be saying, "Why is that framing?" And you can get away with it with you because your mind fills in the gap, and it's in the shade.
Yeah,
shaded part of her face. You're just not seeing it.
The more I see of this artwork, the more I'm really loving it. It's really good.
HR is in the house. Says yes. Says it's all about design. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's mostly good, I think.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's like, wow, crunch time.
I think it's really well done.
Uh-huh.
I was looking at, wondering if we'd get slammed by YouTube, but I think we're all right. I think we're all right there. It's all art, folks.
What is that? A slithering snake with the sound? Yeah. You let your guard down for one moment.
That's what happens.
This is what I was saying, the consequences of your actions.
Right. Hey, Doc.
You don't notice that. You don't notice that 100-foot snake creeping into the room.
No.
Right. Well, she's having to deal with. Well, I won't say it.
No. We don't exactly what you mean, though.
Yep. Ooh. Slice.
Wow. Now, see, that's great. That's one of the best pages right there. Yeah. Where less is more.
That snake thing all over the place looks a little like, reminds me of the end of Watchmen, the Gibbons, when the nuclear bomb's gone off or whatever it is. When do you remember that big worm thing had gone through all New York?
Yeah.
Oh, the alien thing.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah. Not
the part bomb, that they left out of the movie because it would have made it too long.
Blob of protoplasm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. That's fantastic. The way he's cutting through it. Look, the power in that. The thrust that he's got with that sword.
And I don't see the sword. Well, I mean, not on that one page. There's no sword there, is there?
Yeah, he's jumping on it. You see him stabbing it.
It's just showing the snipe, but I mean on that page there, it's just like the moment after he's done it, right? What is that you keep pointing to? Is that blood? What is that?
That's his sword right there.
Oh, is it? That's him? The
little flying,
what?
Yeah.
He's in the air there.
Oh, okay. Well, that so is the, I guess
must be a mighty big snake, because it takes him a while. He stabs into the snake and then slices it out.
Yeah.
And then he's in the water. It's a great shot of him going through the water there. Yeah.
Well, that
that's
helps add
fantastic.
distance. I mean, he's very tiny compared to that snake. That snake's
Yeah.
It says, long live Conan. I'm not wrong. Yeah.
Who
not
says I was not wrong? You'd say I was right. Rattle
I
slice.
think with period even made up historical people, yeah, you don't need to have modern speak, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're
In the
still
dialogue.
dealing with verbiage from 100 years ago here. So.
Why has he got rattle on it? I don't think it needs rattle.
Probably
Yeah.
didn't. No.
Yeah.
It's a nice page though, isn't it?
Probably didn't need the slice up here either. But
No.
Yeah, that's kind
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Well,
Bam,
the whole thing,
pow.
especially with the way his body is cartoony. Yeah. And her expression down here.
I don't really like that. It looks like a freaking like a glob of blood that's not colored red, or I see very little definition. I mean,
I think the main focus was the snake. Oh, sorry.
well, yeah. I think you could have took Conan completely out of that and
oh yeah, I think so too.
And been fine, focusing just on the snake for a moment.
Yeah.
And just have him in the other panels, like diving under the water, would have been fine.
What's he saying in the last
Docs in the house? Thank you.
Randy,
On
he
the
says
left.
nothing born is what?
Nothing born is invincible.
Right, got it.
Slice.
Fantastic, isn't it? That'd be a great double spread to have on your wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's lovely artwork.
It would have been good if he would have carried over the snake like this from the first page to the second. If it would have actually traversed the binding.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, slung it around. Yeah.
Yeah, somehow, and connected the two.
Crom. Look at that. That's fantastic. I like the shadow of the buildings that they're approaching.
Yeah, staircase.
A reflection, I should say, on the
underwater.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does have that shallow water look, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like that might be not back in Photoshop, doesn't it?
I kind of get a Mobius. On some of this little Mobius.
Just European,
Yeah, European. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess.
In comes as soon as I hit that button. There we are. Mr. Russ, how are you?
Good morning.
Where have you been?
A bit late. I've been in bed. I was up late on Philip Russett's show, so I didn't get to bed till 3.
All right. Great.
Okay.
Was it a good show?
Yeah, he's a lovely guy. We had a good conversation.
Sweet. We're looking at Conan. Yeah, go ahead.
Russ Leach, showstopper, right here.
Russ Leach.
Yeah.
That's me. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
Bill's show was fun, huh?
We just chatted. We talked about the book, The Shadow Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good.
Those late night streams get to you, don't they, Russ?
They get you. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's you got to go where they, a lot of people stream in the evening because that's what they have off from their day jobs, and got to play the game.
Facebook user in the house. Hey, Russ. Yeah.
Hey, Facebook.
Hey, Facebook user.
I think Russ is frozen.
He is. I think so. Russ, you're frozen.
He's gone back. He's gone back to sleep.
I'm going back to bed.
At least his computer's gone back to sleep. It might catch up here. It's not even grinding. It's just frozen. Yeah. Russ, you're going to have to go out and come back in if you can hear me.
Astonished.
We'll continue on.
Look at that look. His face is all lit up like a light bulb.
Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
Yeah. After these messages, we'll be right back.
There's a lot going on here.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a bit crowded, this spread, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just I mean, it's a rich, lush colored book, but it is dark in a lot, isn't it?
Facebook user says, I think I scared him off.
See, in that last panel, he's climbing a cliff and he gets lost.
Yeah.
You don't see him at first.
That's
He
the
doesn't
coloring.
pop out. There's not enough contrast.
No, you're right.
I mean, some of it's
Absolutely.
beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful work. It's
Mhm.
just, it needs more contrast.
Yeah.
That's an unusual paneling on the bottom of the first page.
Yeah.
Division.
Down here,
Triangle.
Like
Mhm.
a inverted upside down pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only real contrast here and here when he does the sky. Everything else is kind of muddied in.
The borders waver, don't they? You have borders and gutters at one point, and then you have full bleed on pages or near full bleed.
Yep.
Just kind of wavers back and forth, doesn't it, with this story?
Yeah.
I'm back.
Good morning again. You're back.
Jack.
Hopefully
Yeah.
you're back to stay.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. The computer went a bit whiz bang. I put some extra memory in the other day, and it's done a couple of weird things since then. So, I think somebody must have sneezed on it before I put it in, or something. I don't know.
Maybe. We're looking at Queen of the Black Coast.
Woohoo!
It's Conan, Russ.
Conan.
Of course.
We just can't call it Conan.
No, you can't. No. How ridiculous is that? But there you go.
No.
Well, his name is Conan in the book, but
his name is Conan. It's Conan. You just can't put it on the front.
Right.
That's all.
Crazy, isn't it?
By Crom.
By Crom.
But somebody's got a campaign out there, Crom the Barbarian.
Yeah, that's RJ, isn't it?
Fourth.
Yeah, the fourth world. That's it.
Yeah, fourth age. Yeah,
fourth age.
world.
Yeah, fourth age. Sorry. Yes.
Russ, do you like these sound effects?
No, I'm not. I'm not a big lover. I think it works with the style, but I don't think sound effects necessarily work on a Conan story.
Yeah.
I think it requires a little bit more
finesse.
Finesse, yeah, that's the word. Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Incorporate it a little bit better in with the other art.
Yeah, I just don't think I'd put sound effects in a sword and sorcery story like this.
Doc Blaylock says that's Jim O'Reilly, who did a cover for Doc Blaylock, doing the art for Crom.
Right. It's nice work. It's lovely work. Yeah, I've got no complaints about the work. It's lovely.
This is beautiful stuff, especially the palette. I think it's a little dark. There's not enough contrast, but I agree with Glenn. It is a little cartoony in spots.
Oh yeah, meant to be. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to do something different, and you've got to applaud it for doing that.
Yeah.
From a personal perspective, I just wouldn't. I'm not attracted to this kind of thing for a Conan story.
Mm-hmm.
But that's more probably my problem.
You want a little bit more realistic and gritty.
Yeah, I agree. It needs to be more realistic, but it's very nice work.
It's beautiful work. You can't fault it. It's lovely. But
is this a
totally with
Conan?
Glenn.
Is this a Conan palette? Not really, is it?
No, I wouldn't say there's a Conan palette.
No,
per se. Yeah.
We were saying earlier, Russ, that it's a bit muddy. It's okay, but the colours are a bit muddy.
So is he saying that this guy is doing the art for Crom?
Yeah,
Jim Riley.
Because
no, not this guy.
Oh,
no.
I was about to say.
No, not the art that you're showing. The forthcoming Crom. Yeah.
Because I've not the stuff I've seen doesn't look like this.
Facebook user says greetings from Argentina. Glad you're here, Facebook user.
Hey ho.
Hey ho.
Well, now we know where you're at. There you go. Does it look muddy to you, Russ?
I think I would enjoy the story more if it was in black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
So I'm not keen on Conan's face there. He looks a bit brutish for me. I mean, I know he was a brute, but there was
Yeah, but he was a handsome brute.
He was a handsome brute.
That's right.
And the problem with all of these, and this includes the stuff that I do draw for myself. I'm completely ruined by Buscema.
Oh yeah.
So it's difficult to get for me, and that's why I say this is my problem, not the artist's problem. This is my problem.
I'm really surprised, and we talked about this, I think, last week, that so many people are like, "Oh, Barry Windsor Smith." I'm like, yeah, his early Kirby days. So what? I mean, yes, it's good stuff. Don't get me wrong, but when you think of the sheer volume, and I would say the seminal artist on Conan is John Buscema. And I know that there's difference of daylight and dark. I can appreciate both. But just with a few issues, people still talk about Barry Windsor Smith being the first. Maybe because he was the first. I don't know. But it's amazing how much Conan does Buscema have to pump out over the decades for you to like him over a few issues of Barry Windsor Smith. I don't get that.
To me, though, and like with this work, it's almost three completely different characters. I mean, Barry Windsor Smith's Conan is completely different from Buscema's Conan. Look and feel, and just the atmosphere, everything about it.
Maybe the people who like Barry Windsor Smith's Conan, two reasons: one because it was first, and one because they didn't pick up Savage Tales. Different format, different kind. It's more of a magazine, isn't it? Is it Savage Tales
or the comic? I mean, he did it.
When I say Savage Tales, I might be wrong on the title. I mean the black and I mean
Savage Sword of Conan.
They did Savage Tales first that had Conan and Khazar in it, I think, didn't it?
Right. Well, that's not the one I mean. I mean the Buscema.
Savage Sword of
Conan. Yeah.
Right. You know that.
But then he also did the comic too. I mean, he's so I couldn't tell you how many stories he did. There's so many of them.
He made it his. There's no doubt about that.
He did. Oh,
yeah.
Right. I mean, if you say Superman, okay, so many people's done Superman, but you probably have to say somebody like, a guy that drew him for 30 years.
Kurt Swan.
Yeah, Kurt Swan. I mean, it's just, he's sort of the seminal artist for that. During a certain period, maybe before that Wayne Boring, but I mean, there's certain artists you identify with certain characters because they've done them so many times.
It's like footballers or soccer players. It's a generational thing. Everybody says that Maradona's the best player, but I'd say Pele was.
Yeah,
it's a generational thing. You can't compare them.
Right, I agree.
You can't compare Kurt Swan's Superman with John Byrne's Superman, or you shouldn't. They're both fantastic.
Right. You should meet them where they're at. But then when you see the overwhelming volume of work that they do, it's like, my gosh. I mean, with Kurt Swan's Superman over 30 years, I'm not even sure how long. I'd like to know exactly how long he did do Superman.
I think they're close. I do.
Yeah, well, I know
while there
30 years. I just don't know how much over 30 years.
Isn't that fantastic the way he's left the negative space on those?
Yeah, I really like that.
Isn't
on
that
the right hand side, and it's around the bats on the right hand side as well.
Yeah,
where he's coloured the bat or the creature or whatever it is, and it's round the wings.
Yeah,
I like that.
Fantastic.
Totally negative zone over, Mike Mignola or P. Craig Russell that likes to use the silhouettes in dark.
Again, right, Alex Nino really screams here.
Alex Nino,
It's got that European vibe to it, obviously.
Yeah,
is that
I really
warthog?
like it.
What is that?
The what?
Is that a warthog with the teeth? What is that?
It's a big
bat coming in.
It's a bat thing.
Oh, it's a bat thing. Okay.
Whatever it is, you don't want to meet it.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. I don't know. That's kind of jarring with the angel.
Yeah, he didn't have a chance to finish that. That's
a style break right there.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't think it.
I don't like that either. It's too jarring, really. Doesn't quite fit.
It looks like the characters in general don't have features to them. They're just white.
I think I'll do. I think I'll do a Frank Miller panel.
Okay. Oh, he got drugged. That's why the monkey demon didn't come to finish me. If I do not leave this place now, their spores will kill me, like the old man that Lit had met. The pirates. Something.
HR says sound FX transparent overlay with texture abstract grain with no outlines.
Okay.
That last panel there on the right hand page is brilliant. When it's in the shadow and you see what he's looking at, it's really great. I like that.
He's tripping.
Right.
It's tripping balls, man.
Well, I mean, he can be tripping in like that angel thing, but I think it doesn't mesh well. And maybe that's just what he wants it to do. You know, why use a scalpel when you can use a hammer? Oh, that's great with the.
It's
the
beautiful
leg.
work. But I have to agree. I wouldn't have chosen this style for the subject matter.
No.
Right. Yeah. I like the ropes. That's cool. And the hanging body.
It's beautiful stuff. It really is.
She's been attacked.
Yeah, but Conan, that doesn't look like Conan to me, you know?
I mean, if you look at the guy right in the middle there with about 15 spears in him, there's some serious pain going on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
This guy's only got one leg who's hanging up and half of his other leg's missing.
It might even be her, actually.
I think that's her. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's a distinctly female shape.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Oh, dear. What have they done to her?
Oh, she did. She did. That's...
Look at the guy on
that.
She's dead. Look at the guy on the left. He's got something in his head, far left, near your thumb.
Through his face.
Under the face.
He's been spanked against the side of the ship. Yeah,
it's gone through his eye, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Dave. It has a very synthetic coloring. HR says.
Hey, Dave.
One problem I saw with the previous pages that there is no room for dialogue. Yeah. Carlos says.
It's a previous, yeah.
This looks like a Monster MD that Vonster did, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah.
Oh, she's all tied up, bleeding, hanging, decomposing.
Probably missing a leg, yeah.
Again, you know,
I'm in bad shape, Conan.
He goes after the winged creature there. Yeah, that's negative here.
So that's Conan armored up from the dead armor.
Yeah.
That last panel on the second page, I don't know. I'm not seeing, you won't believe this, but I'm not seeing much of Mike Mignola's work, but that reminds me of that.
Yeah, it does a little. Yeah.
I could see that.
Silhouette.
Yeah, he was a master of doing that kind of work, silhouettes, and is a master.
I mean, I think he thinks in silhouette. You know, I mean, it's like, what can I do?
Does make you wonder.
Yeah.
Crom.
Yeah, it's not. This isn't for me.
No, I know what you mean. It's like we said, it's lovely work, but it's not Conan.
Wow, that's Fantasia. That fourth panel on the second page is Fantasia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah, yeah. But it's just, it's he ain't Conan.
It's got a little. Well, I mean, the building's coming down around him. It's got a little Samson in there too, right? Bring the house down.
Yeah. I can hear Tom Jones singing now.
Then getting cancelled. Hello,
Wow.
Carlos. Carlos is the one from Argentina. Hello, Carlos.
Look at those eyes bugging out of his head.
Look at that. Brilliant, aren't they?
Yeah.
That last panel where you just see through the slice of his sword.
I mean, the artist could do a bigger panel so the letterer could have more room to do his job, and that would look much better. Yeah. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Skip.
Hey, Skip.
Hey, Genuine. Says, by the way, I'm the one from Argentina. Oh.
I think they're both claiming to be from Argentina. Oh, okay. Carlos coming off of Facebook into YouTube, I guess.
The tubes. Well, there's plenty of space on there.
She's a beauty.
That's a fantastic double space spread. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
Sushi.
It's the Vikings, isn't it?
Billet had been of the sea.
That slant. Now, see, that's
splendor and allure. Without Billet, rolled and barren, dreary and desolate waste from pole to pole.
How'd you like to get paid for those pages, Russ?
Everlasting mystery.
Well, I like to get paid for any pages.
Yeah, but there's not much there, really.
No, I mean, if you're doing that in black and white, there's a lot of space, but also it depends how you render the sea.
Yeah.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine it being rendered by, I don't know, Joe Kubert? He'd render the sea, so you could say there's not a lot there, but then there's.
I think there's a lot of work there.
I was about to back that up, Glenn, with the fact that it's in color. Actually, they filled the page, haven't they?
Yeah,
they did. Yeah. Randy, can you go back and show him that shallow water that was done earlier?
Where was that?
When it was coming in on, from the water.
When he was going over the steps.
Right there. Yeah. Look at that.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it might be a digital effect. I don't know.
We said that, yeah. I think those steps have been knocked back.
It looks no, it looks like it's painted. It from my
perspective, my opinion, this is all just almost like watercolor here. If it's done digitally, it's done really well to simulate painting.
I mean, have you guys figured out, is this watercolor? Is it gouache? Is it inks? What is it? Or will we ever know?
Well, we may never know.
Yeah.
It could be digital. It could be hand.
I think it's been digitally enhanced.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. He's painted that in, and knowing that, right, I can just do this when I get to the when I got it scanned in.
This looks painted.
I think this
is all painted. This bit, yeah, without doubt. Yeah.
Smoke here. It's a nice touch.
Wow.
That's a nice page. I just don't like the big round eyes. That's what I think that's what's doing me in. But you can't complain. I mean, there's lots of action.
It looked like
beautifully rendered.
It looked like Tex Avery a while ago when he was going berserker. The eyes were popping out of his head.
Yep.
They used caricature to for the emotions, to convey the emotions.
So sorry, I was tardy and didn't turn up on time.
Oh, you're fine. Great comic artist from Argentina, Alberta Baricia is a favorite.
But this book, is this an IDW book? Is this an Ablaze book? Which
this
one
is Ablaze?
Yeah.
Right. So this story is in public domain?
Yeah.
And the Queen of the Black Coast is in public domain?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Russ, as far as you being late, the flogging will begin at noon.
I'm just logging all this.
After each story, the research that I did on it, it's the writer's death plus 70 years.
Right.
I think it is. And it's been 90 since Howard passed. And it has to have been printed way back when.
Right.
So the more modern there's some Conan and some Cull that are off of the stories that they found in his trunk that he couldn't sell.
Right. Okay.
And some of them have been in fragments that other people, L. Sprague de Camp and Glenn Lord, I think, went through and finished off as well, off of his notes. After every story on the Ablaze books, they print the prose books, and this is what I mean by that font being so small. You have to have a magnifying glass.
Oh, well, you can read ours. You can read ours.
Yeah. And see, it's page.
Wow.
After
That's
page,
almost
the
way they presented that in that 2.5 point. It's almost like an afterthought. We've got 4 pages to fill, guys. Let's just put the entire prose in it.
Or it's almost like, oh well, nobody's going to read this. Just chuck it in as small as we can.
Yeah, that's not
I don't think it's giving it the respect it's due.
It gets better. The later books. Let me see. I can pull out issue. The 4th volume here gets a lot better. 3rd really is a little better. 2nd one's a couple points higher. Here's the 4th book here.
That's a lovely cover. That right. Yeah, beautiful stuff.
Oh yeah, I love the way this looks.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. No, you see, that's more Conan to me. Yeah,
the work is different from story to story.
That's great. Look at that,
Russ. We would like you to do Conan. What? Now that looks a lot like Cole.
See, the font's a lot larger here.
That is better. Yeah.
Almost readable without glasses.
What kind of tone do you think Conan should have, Russ?
In what way? What do you mean?
Oh, coloring, and I know you like the Bronze Age.
Yeah, I don't. Like I think the stuff that Buscema did with Alcala, for instance, it elevates itself out of the Bronze Age. It's just, I think it's timeless material.
Yeah,
I think you could draw that, or that could be drawn in that way anytime. Even the Ernie Chan stuff, which is probably closer to what I'm modeling myself on, closer to what I'm kind of trying to hit, the target I'm trying to hit. It, I think, looks timeless.
Yeah,
I don't think it sits necessarily in the Bronze Age in that way.
Right.
I like the idea of pretty much. I mean, I'm totally into it, and I'd want it to be a brooding. So everything needs to be very.
I guess I would. I shouldn't even mention color because color adds another dimension to it. If you take color out and just do it like black and white, like was in Savage Sword of Conan, what kind of tone do you set without color?
Yeah, that kind of that moody feel. Although, if you look at the ways, for instance, Buscema inks himself compared to, say, Alcala or Chan,
right?
They are very different approaches,
and
yet they all seem to have that. And this is probably down to Buscema's pencils, to be honest. They all seem to have that presence about them, and I think that's what you want to bring. Is it de Torre who's doing it for Titan at the moment? And we talk about him looking very much like Buscema. He's a talented in his own right, and is bringing an incredible amount of presence to the work that he's doing.
From Alpha to Z, from the beginning of the story to the end of it being complete story done, don't you want to keep that energy, momentum going? I mean, that's easier with some artists than others, right?
Yeah. I think it comes down to how much you love it. I mean, I know that Buscema wasn't really keen on drawing cars and buildings.
Yeah,
but he did love drawing the the Conan stuff.
Well, we were talking about that
you know,
earlier. It's like when Ernie Chan does your inks, you're going to get Ernie Chan over your pencils. You know, I mean, certain inkers can enhance or hurt, I think. And I think Buscema was one. I think the magazines, I always kind of looked at those as lesser than the comics. Now maybe you didn't, but here in the States, and that might have just been my mindset, it seemed like that they didn't get it was almost like a showcase book where there's, and I know this for a fact that some artists started out on that, and inkers, it didn't always seem to get the best inkers.
No, I agree. It wasn't always perfect.
Right.
I think the Alcala, Chan, and Buscema approaches were different enough that you could respect them for what they were.
Right.
I do personally think that Buscema was best inking his own work. I love the way it looks because he keeps when he inks, he keeps his work a little bit more open than the other people that ink his work. But you know, there's something classy about Chan, and it's just, you know, the work that Alcala put in is just amazing. It's just it's so beautiful and so rich, and yet you can still see Buscema underneath it, you know, very prominently. So I love taking them all in. I do like the monthlies, you know, the floppies that Buscema did most of. And obviously, you know, with our book, we've put that kind of color scheme in as well. We've given it that kind of, you know, rough and ready, you know, retro feel. But moving forward,
I know Gil Kane did a lot of
that's
Conan
right.
too,
Gil Kane did some stuff in Savage Sword of Conan as well.
Yeah, but not nearly as much as what Buscema did.
Oh no, but Buscema did the vast majority of it all. But I would now want to go in a direction of more black and white, I think, which is something that we thought of in the first place. But I think bringing this first book out as we're doing, it makes sense to get it color and get it out to as many people as possible, and then start tempting those people in with black and white afterwards, I think.
Yeah. You don't think you're setting a precedent?
No, I don't. I think we can, especially since we can reprint the book in black and white as well. So, you know, you can do pretty much anything you want.
And we call it an artist edition.
Oh, there will be an artist edition.
Yeah.
Well, the thing with Conan is that he sold just about any format that they kicked him out in.
Yeah.
So,
Conan shouldn't be brutish, like you say. He should be Clint Eastwood. He should be handsome barbarian that's dangerous to be around.
Yeah.
Whether you're his friend or his enemy, he's a dangerous individual.
I think instead of going or trying to go through this story, why don't we jump to the back of the book where they get into the production art?
Yeah.
Let's have a look. Yeah.
And again, Red Nails is not a short story. There's the cover gallery.
Oh, look at that.
There's some beautiful stuff here.
There is some gorgeous stuff there.
This is porn for comic book nerds, folks.
Well, that's what Comics by Night is anyway.
Now that's Action Comics #1 there with the boat. That's Action Comics #1.
Here, yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yep.
But with a boat. Yeah.
Yep. #1 variant, the big snake.
There's an 8.5 that's on Heritage. I don't know if you know, guys. It's going for $4,200,000, and the next bidding increment $50,000 increments to bid on it.
Yeah.
For what?
An Action #1.
Action
Action
#1. 8.5 graded.
8.5.
How much?
$4,200,000.
And you got to bid in increments of 50 grand.
Yep.
Yeah.
For a comic.
Yes.
Not any comic though.
And
the comic.
And is it slabbed so it's not really the real one? You don't know, there's nothing in it.
Not only is it slabbed and graded in 8.5, but the picture that they're showing, it's in an airtight glass case. on top of that. It's in a glass case.
Well, that's not 4.2 billion well spent because you can't read it.
There you are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I agree.
I'm going to an auction next week where they've got batches of comics. I'm gonna go and pick some up next week, I think. But do you know what? They're all for flicking through. None of them are for collecting. They're just for flicking through.
A while back, I read that there were more copies of Amazing Fantasy 15 in circulation than were printed now.
Yeah,
work that one out.
Mm.
That might be the Ninja Turtle. That may be the Ninja Turtle, sort of counterfeit, or the
Cerebus 1 was like
Cerebus.
that too.
Cerebus. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Suddenly there were twice as many copies, but the rumor is that was kind of it's official but not official addition to the first print run.
How about Neil Adams as a Conan artist, huh?
He's inked over some Crusty Bunkers.
I think he's done.
He's actually done some Conan as well. Yeah,
there was such a wide variety of artists on Savage Sword that it's hard to keep track of who did what.
Look at that wonky leg on that girl there at the bottom on the left-hand page, last panel.
Yeah,
which one?
That one. Look at that leg. And the chest a bit odd as well, isn't it? But look at her legs.
I was looking at that chest. So
yeah, I don't.
That's horrible.
Doesn't do it for me.
That's Eon Flux legs. Those are legs that keep on giving.
That's such a stylized, cartoony look to it.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah, I don't
like that.
Conan movie cover variant.
Yeah.
And that one on the right-hand page, bottom left, is that Princess Leia?
Yeah, what's going on there? Yeah. What's happened to his face?
He's been cyborged.
Yeah,
he looks a little Frankensteinish here.
He does look Frankensteinish. Yeah.
He's been doing that thing them German officers used to do. They've got them scars on the face when they used to do with the foil, when they used to do the fencing. He's been doing a bit of that. It's one of them. Anything you can do, I can do better.
Crisis on Infinite Earths homage cover.
Yeah.
Well, they say that's the most used trope in comics. Limp body. I mean, it goes all the way back pre-Pieta, right?
I tell you what, though, that's not easy to draw. That.
No.
Yeah. That's what I was wanting.
It's
you
easy.
To do, Russ.
It's
Remember?
easy to. Yeah. It's easy to get it wrong.
Oh yes.
Very easy to get it wrong.
I think you probably need a chair and a towel.
Yeah.
And drape the towel over the chair.
Yeah.
Get the movement of it.
Way up on the chat, I got Paramus and his Lovecraft work and what is it, Daenerys?
Yeah.
I didn't read Paramus because I don't like the writers. Oh. Carlos says, but his work influenced a lot of artists around the world. I'm not familiar. I'll have to familiarize myself with his stuff.
Sure.
Someone's a master at making his characters have dynamism.
Dynamism and weight. Yeah.
Especially
that's what
Conan,
he was great at.
Yep.
Yeah.
Got a fantastic style in it. Haven't read it yet. It feels like film noir, Hunter Thompson style to it. Crazy. I got Mort Cinder 2.
Is that a disease?
Mort Cinders was written by Hector Osterfeld, the same writer from the Eternaut. I guess it was translated that way for us. El Eternauta. Alternata. They worked together for a long time. That couple was great. Hail, William. Glad you're here.
Hey, William.
There's a woe. And busted out of the something. I can't tell what that icon is.
It's a coffin.
Busted out of the
coffin. A coffin? Okay. Didn't quite look like a coffin.
As in, bust that comic out of the coffin.
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I'm collecting his work, but they are in different languages. Some is translated into English. I have those, but much work isn't. But I gotta have them.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. Great fix in this show, Rex. Great fit in this show.
He is. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good to have everyone here.
Yeah.
It's great.
Really glad you're
Even
here.
though I turned up late. Sorry.
Like I said, the flogging will begin at dawn.
Superman.
Yeah.
Superman. Right, yeah. That's not the best way of showing his tunic, but you know.
Neil Adams.
That bottom, the left-hand page, the bottom panel, the two. It's a bit of a nothing picture, isn't it? Really,
it doesn't seem to have much of a focal point to it.
No,
Yeah.
too much.
I was going to say it's like a combination of 3 different elements here.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably a cover that's been used. Both have been used for a cover.
Yeah.
So they didn't want to go across the center line, and it's kind of broken it up.
Yeah,
so each side has been used as a cover.
Yeah.
So when I see Conan with 6 arrows in him, which I don't hear, I see a couple stuck in him there, but I think we saw an image of Conan, or with like 6 arrows. He's human. He's
not a superhuman.
Stuff, but that's a bit much. You're going all Saint Sebastian on him.
He's
more
savage than he is Superman.
Just go back, Randy.
Not in the pulp stories. Conan and Cull both taken a tremendous amount of over abuse. No normal human would have survived.
Yeah,
any
but
of
6
that
arrows.
They were macho men. Yeah.
He doesn't look right with his leather trousers on, does he?
No, that's not right. No.
The Superman and both images. I kind of like him straddling the scene like that.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
That's probably why they put trousers on him.
Yeah.
No loincloth for this barbarian.
Red Nails 1 Big Country Comics variant.
Because you do know that Conan's Scottish, don't you? So they have to put trousers on him. Russell
no kilt.
No kilt.
No.
What about that one in the upper right-hand corner? That looks pretty dope. I can't really get a good look at it.
Well, it's Conan with his bitches, isn't it?
Here.
No, that one. Oh, is it?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that need to blow it up bigger. Let's see here.
Here, you mean?
Oh yeah.
No,
okay. I see his harem. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you had it right there in the
red nails.
Upper right.
Red nails.
Right here.
Yeah.
Yep, right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Glenn called that one. He's got all the women around him. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Friday night for Conan.
Big time collectibles.
Friday night.
Friday night takes him a week to recover.
This bottom one, one of the bottom right here. The bottom right.
Yeah.
Bottom right. That one.
Here.
Beautifully painted.
Yeah.
But I think she may be standing on a box.
Yeah.
Yeah. Reminds me of Boris. It reminds me of Boris.
She's about to knee him in the crotch, is what it looks like.
He's quite tall, and she's nearly reaching him, and she's all buckled up. She must be standing on something.
Yeah.
I don't really like the rip-offs, the homages. The Superman, the action comics. It's not.
No, I don't think it suits Conan.
And that loincloth is way too suggestive.
Yeah,
that's what I was saying earlier. It's pointing in the wrong direction.
He's got pants on.
Yeah, he's got pants on, even though he's got pants on.
There's that Batman thing.
See, that's just wrong. I don't like
Isn't it?
See, I like that one. Panel 2, left-hand page. That's the best one I've seen.
Yeah.
The bottom right on the right-hand page looks a bit Steranko, doesn't it?
It does a bit, doesn't it?
The last panel.
On the right there by his thumb.
Yeah,
I guess so.
I like the swords or the spears.
That's a Kirby trope, isn't it?
Yeah,
the guy with the eye in and all that sort of stuff.
Very much a Schwarzenegger pose here too.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just don't have room to put all the gangster guns or knives or.
Yeah. Big Country Comics variant by Mike Booth.
I like him under the archway. I like that one. Isn't he holding up a decapitated head?
He is, yeah.
I think so, yeah. Have it. That's what he's saying.
I've seen that pose somewhere before too.
Yeah.
Titans. Attack of the Titans.
Now see that one I don't mind.
Clash of the Titans. Medusa's head.
Titans holding up Medusa's
Although
head.
that could just be how many different positions can you hold?
Yeah.
Showing some head that you've cut off.
Ask the barbarian women, his horde.
It's I see this sometimes out there on Tinternet where you have people saying, look at this swipe, and it's like, well, that's not a swipe, it just happens to be in the same position.
Yeah.
You know, it's not a swipe. There's just because somebody's got the same bodily position doesn't mean it's a swipe. If you traced it, that's a swipe.
Yeah, it's like you said, how many different ways can you show somebody holding up a head?
Exactly.
Well,
you know, it's like
if the famous one is with the right arm, they might do it with the left, right? Flop it.
Yeah. But then once you've done it both ways, what do you do then?
Yeah.
Don't use it.
That's what she said.
How dare you?
How very dare you?
Wow.
No, it's sketches. Nice.
How dare you?
Yeah. Guess. Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I like.
That right hand, the large page, that's very Barry Windsor Smith, that face, isn't it? Look at the face.
A little, doesn't it?
The nose. He always draws that long nose, doesn't he?
I presume this is the guy we were looking at earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that right arm's wrong, isn't it? It looks like it's his left hand with the sword. It doesn't, the way he's bent his arm.
It's posed goofy. Yeah, it's posed goofy.
It's posed goofy. Yeah. It looks like a Sean Gordon Murphy scratchiness. I like it.
It looks like a samurai, doesn't he, with that armor?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
That's a nice rough though.
That's good, yeah. That's a bit, that first one there, looking up at them is like a Toth type of illustration, is it?
Yeah.
You know, that's what I liked about Buscema is that Conan, no matter what environment he was in, looked like Conan.
Yeah.
He didn't all of a sudden be in a jungle setting and look like Tarzan.
There was
he did definitive Conan. Yeah.
Oh,
and I had forgotten that he had done a bunch of Tarzan work. Buscema did when Marvel got the license, and that was unusual to look at.
That's cool.
You know, he was the perfect pick, though, wasn't he? Really, he's
for Conan or for Tarzan.
For Tarzan,
it's a completely different body style.
If you're in Marvel,
interesting. Yeah.
If you're at Marvel and you've got all your artists ready to go, and you get the IP for Tarzan, it's like, all right, well, I'll put Buscema on it.
That'd be a quick.
It seems like a no-brainer. You know.
Look at those two illustrations there. The one on the left is very Frank Miller, Dark Knight.
Yes, it is.
And the one on the right,
Dark Knight,
is like that guy who cuts his horns off. What's he called? The face.
Oh, Hellboy.
Guy. Yeah, looks like Hellboy.
Yeah,
the face.
Looks a bit Hellboy.
Magnola. Yeah.
That's a bit of a
wow. That's real comical, almost like Jack Davis, like you were talking
about. It's like a mad cover, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. Yeah, it's a crazy face. Then there's all of this detail around here.
Yeah, it needs to put some more rendering on the central characters to bring them out because they're a bit lost, aren't they?
Again, contrast needs more contrast.
But he's probably going to paint in that. He's probably going to color in it.
Yeah,
so
I'm sure that's what he.
Yeah.
It's an open style because he's going to let the brushwork of the painting and the colors do the job.
Yeah, you kind of consider that too, Russ, while you're drawing something, don't you? I know I do.
I do.
Yeah, I mean it is a consideration, but that's why when we've done the color work we've done on the book, it's simple color work because we've let the inks do the job. The inks are doing the heavy lifting. The colors are literally just there to pop the page because people like color.
Right.
It's I'm a lover of black and white, to be honest, and I'd like to see the ink work do the job rather than the colors. But
all right, if you were going to say out of 100%, comic readers, where would they fall? Would it be like 80-20, or would it be more like half and half? I mean, people who like color as opposed to black and white.
I think.
You think?
Oh God, that's really difficult. I think everybody appreciates both. It's just whether they're going to put their hand in the pocket and buy it.
Right.
And a more modern approach would be, oh well, it's color, so it's I'm getting more for my money.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that might be. I'm just guessing here. I think that might be more of an approach that maybe younger readers would go with. I don't know. It's difficult. It all comes down to personal preference as well. I mean, look at there's a lot of the manga stuff is black and white. It's very simply done, and people lap it up. But then it's cheap. So there's so many different variants in variables. Involved, and it does come down to personal opinion. I think you can entice, but so those people that say no, I don't want to buy a black and white book. I think if you get enough people buying that book that go, this is a fantastic book, then those people that only like color might go, well, I'll give it a go. Yeah. Because if it's a good enough story, anyone will be prepared to buy it because it's a good enough story. It's not like, oh, it's color. It's not color. I will never buy it. But I just think it's a sort of a general sort of consensus. I did a little poll. And it was only a small poll, and I got like 70% of people said that they'd buy black and white, and 30% said 30%.
Really?
No, I only buy color.
I think it depends. It depends on a lot of factors, like everything.
Yeah,
it's like if you look at 2000 AD, would that be better in color? I don't think so.
Well, what was great about 2000 AD is it had a color cover, and the inside spread, the center spread was color.
Yeah.
And then everything else was black and white.
But when you look at 10 or 12 years previously in the mid 60s, when TV 21 came out and Trigon Empire and Thunderbirds and all that
was full color.
That work is all painted.
Yeah.
But it's done by painters, by superb artists.
Yeah.
Not necessarily comic book artists.
That's
They had a great vision of color, like Barry Smith does.
I think there's a big difference there, though, because Century 21 was printed on beautiful, slick paper, very much like this. 2000 AD was meant to be disposable. It was only 9p and printed on the shoddiest newsprint I think that they could possibly find.
Right.
And it's just it was just meant to be out there, bought and disposed of on a weekly basis. And
it was pure comics, wasn't it?
And it was both directions are incredibly good, and I think that's how comics should be.
I think
there should be great works out there, and other stuff that's meant to be disposable but really aren't. You really the 2000 stuff, all of that needs to be collected in nice slick volumes. Sorry, I didn't mean to step on you, Glenn. Go ahead.
All right. I'm just going to say that it's like I said before about the football thing. It's a generational thing because I can remember buying the first TV 21 in 1965, and it was a revelation to me because I'd been looking at Beano and stuff like that.
Yeah,
which is very cartoony, very flat color, not good. But it's I remember reading that the first issue of TV 21 sold 1.5 million copies. And it was weekly. And then I remember reading, was it 2000 AD sold something like 200,000 copies for the first issue.
Yeah.
So, do you see what I'm getting at? It's a generational thing. I think that if 2001 would have been printed on with photogravure like TV 21 was, I don't think it would have worked as well.
No, I don't either. I agree with you.
It needed that gritty look
and
for the artwork.
No, not at all. Yeah.
When did 2000 AD begin? Was it in somewhere in
1977?
77, yeah.
Okay,
77.
Star Wars series. Okay.
It's a shadow of its former self now.
That looks like an airbrush Conan.
Yeah.
Those last few pages had some beautiful anatomy on them.
Yeah, they did.
I've never heard of Ablaze.
Go back one. I mean, that's great. But if you go back one as well, like the back on Conan there. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Again, we need more backs in our comics. Back
To me, the best thing about that back is the fact that he's not sort of muscle bound, is he? It's almost like he's normal.
I love that about Buscema's work. Is these guys were big, they were muscular, they all look like they might be 1950s swimmers. Do you know what I mean? They like, and I like that. I don't want to see every ripple.
No,
I just think it's a beautiful way of doing it, because
that's what they do in movies now. But you take it back 60 years or less, and you've got like Steve McQueen body types and all kinds of body types. They look normal.
You know what I really, really hate about John Buscema is that he gets more in one line than I do in an entire page. And I hate him for that.
It's so relaxed as well. That's the thing. Is so relaxed. The way that he applies pencils to pages.
His work reminds me of at college we had a guy called Setford, and he used to bring stuffed birds in and stuff for us to paint and draw, and he was absolute genius. We were working on black sugar paper, painting on black sugar paper, and we were doing like a little. I didn't like it myself. I don't like stuffed birds, but there's some parrot guy was there. He's probably about 50 years old, dead, and we were using color, and Setford came in and roasted us all because he picked up a pencil, right, and he got more. It looked more like the parrot in 3 lines than we'd spent 6 weeks with color.
There you go. Yeah.
Master, student.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
These are lovely.
Time to go home.
Time to go home.
We've been looking at the first
Randy?
volume of the Cimmerian, folks. They're still available over on Amazon.
All right. Okay.
What do they kind of run, Russ? I mean, Randy?
What are they? 20, 25?
That's not bad. Hardback.
20. The volume 4 is $29.99.
Oh,
they're very much worth it. Very much. 24 $99 for the first one, but that was done. They were kicking one out every quarter for a little while. I haven't seen a volume 5 offered yet. I haven't checked in a little bit though.
Yeah.
So
I know that because I have some of them, especially the latter ones, because that's where I have original artwork too. But that Dark Horse reprinted in black and white, all those almost in like Overstreet update size. Overstreet price
like essential size, you mean? Yeah.
Well, no,
or
I think
smaller.
they're smaller than that, more like a price guide, but they
the omnibus type.
Yeah, they had all the from 1 to the like 226, however many issues there was of Savage Sword of Conan reprinted in black and white.
The ones I've got looks like the Marvel Essentials books.
Okay.
Nice and thick.
Is that the set from Black Horse? Dark Horse?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday, folks, we're looking at Frazetta. So come on back and take a look at some incredibly great art.
Who's this?
Some guy named Frank Frazetta. It's some weirdo. Yeah.
Some slacker.
Yeah.
So stop back by Sunday Funnies, 9 a.m. Indie Comics Network, Comic Book Black Belt, the Randy Zim YouTube channel. So we really appreciate you coming by today and stopping by. Rex, tell folks how they can find you.
Oh, they can find me on Instagram. They can find me here daily on the 4 o'clock shadow and other broadcasts. I'm on Topicless on Tuesdays, on Red Valkyrie on Friday nights, and on co-host some Saturday nights with Apex Comics. got Devil Flyer up on Fund My Comic right now. Go check it out. And while you're over there, go check out Russ and Randy's Shadow Kingdom. If you like some cool barbarian action with some great colors.
Yeah. Fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Russ, tell folks how they can find you. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
you can...
Rex. Didn't mean to step on you there.
That's all right. Bringing back the fun to comics.
There you are.
Yeah, you can find me at russleach.com. All my social medias are there. And you can also find me at fundmycomic.com with the current campaign of the Shadow Kingdom. I'm everywhere at the moment and I'm getting not much sleep, but I'll be okay. Don't worry. Go get yourself a copy of the Shadow Kingdom. It's really
it's worse
good.
on you, Russ, isn't it? Because you're in the UK and a lot of the channels are American, right?
Yeah. I was up at 3 this morning with Philip Russert on over on his channel. I'm going on to I'll be appearing on Peter Smetty's channel today. I think I'm over on Mike Wheeler's channel later tonight. I will be on Razorfist's channel on Monday. And we will be running his new slot, as it were, for Iron Age creators. Check that out. Razorfist is a sharp, funny man, and he loves Robert E. Howard. So he's done our forward for the book, which is in. It's a lovely read. Check us all out. russleach.com. Go over to Fund My Comic, find out the Shadow Kingdom. Or pick me up on pretty much any show over the next 4 weeks.
Razorfist is really into pulp, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves pulp. Yeah, he wrote his own sort of horror western. What was it? Horror western, which is it Ghost of the Badlands? Which looks really good, I have to say. It does look really good.
Cool. Glenn, tell folks how they can find you.
You can get me all over the place. Get me on these podcasts. You can get me on Amazon and Facebook and wherever. You can pick up a copy of my book about Jack Kirby from New Haven Publishing. You go to Fund My Comic. You can see my character Hatch, which has got this annotated book, which features published and unpublished artwork throughout, plus little anecdotes about him. And any moment soon, issue 15 of Comics Unlimited, my magazine about comics, will be on Amazon to all purchase.
Crikey.
Not Crikey, no, Comics Unlimited.
Well, you always put Crikey on the cover sticker.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's just to let people know, what's going on. Because we're
the producers,
producers of.
And if you pick up issue 14 of Comics Unlimited, you could actually see a 6-page story by me of my exposure to Doctor Who.
That's a really nice cover there, Randy.
Yeah, it's a great cover. Look at that.
Did you read 13 though, Randy? Did you get 13? That had an article by me in there.
That's a good drawing on that cover.
Yeah. It's a great drawing.
Yeah, they're always great.
Blow that up. Boom. Take a look at that. Yeah.
Sexiest comic rack.
Yeah.
There we are.
Brilliant.
Folks, I've been your host, Randy Zimmerman. You can find my stuff over at aerocomics.store, where there's a wide variety of comics. I like doing a lot of different things. Looking for HeroBot Zero, Paragon, which is a superhero story I'm really proud of, and Calico, which is a fantasy property that it's on my list to get around to as soon as I finish a little monkey business and I'm doing a little anniversary work. Yep.
Monkeys.
Monkeys.
Somebody get that guy a banana.
Yeah, exactly. Folks, we deeply appreciate you stopping by. We know the majority of our viewership is after the fact, and we love you for that as well. We hope that you're having as good a time going through all of this comic porn, I guess, as we are. Just great stuff by great artists to inspire us, to keep us working, and to brighten our day. There's so much negativity out there in comics, but there's so much great material, and a lot of it is being neglected and overlooked and not even considered anymore. And that's the kind of program that we want to do here, where we show that stuff off and point this out to you. As Rex was saying, he'd never heard of Ablaze before today. and they kick out some phenomenal products. They're still printing material. I'm not sure if they're still doing Cimmerian or not, but there are other great quality stuff. They're about on the level, in my opinion, printing products as Titan is. And to me, Titan is top notch. So look at their stuff. Look for them in previews. I know that they're there. Look at the variety of stuff that they print. Just great, phenomenal comics out there waiting for you to discover. So go out there and please do that. If you get a chance, go visit your local retailer as well and go take a look at those boxes that have been neglected, sometimes by the retailer himself, so you can get some good prices. You'd be amazed at the type quality of work that you can find there, and I'm sure the retailer would appreciate your patronage. So go visit your local retailer.
Do it now.
Do it now. Yes.
Good now.
Check out our other programs on the Indie Comics Network. Make sure, if you can, give us a tip with the stars and that, and help the network along and cover their expenses. I'm trying to think of what else. Brian K. Morris is in the house here. Look
Brian's
at that.
There. You had me at Comic Porn. Yeah.
You had me at porn. There we are. Maybe we should start just rename the show.
Comic Porn.
Comic Porn.
So on the first episode
in the morning, I don't think it'll make a big difference.
Yes.
Oh, we'd probably get slammed by YouTube like that.
On the first episode, we get a massive influx of viewers, and then they
probably. Yeah.
But the good thing is Russ would show up on time.
I would. You got to show up on time for porn, or you don't get paid. What can I say?
In the show, Smiles, I prefer black and white. If I did Conan, I should have sponges and crayon textures in it. Yeah.
Different.
HR says an ink wash is wet on wet. Yep. And dry brush. That's what she said. Wet on wet. Anyway, I got those gems. Yeah.
Did any of you guys back in the day do that liquid Zipatone?
Yeah.
Dual shade board. Yes.
Dual shade. No, I've never used dual shade. No.
I just ran across a HeroBot illustration I did back in, I think it was 88 that I did in Duo Shade Board. It's great stuff.
What you need to do is use proper ink.
Oh, look at that. Lovely.
Mm-hmm.
There you are.
That is lovely.
Proper ink.
Proper ink.
Yeah.
Yep.
But whatever gets you through the night, you know.
That's true. Yep.
As Russ knows.
Razor Fist is going to be huge. Looking forward to Russ. Congrats.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we get out, because he's got a great audience, and you know his audience. They love what he does. And they love his books. It's he does a lot of political commentary and entertainment commentary, culture, and all the rest of it. And I'm sorry, but he's hysterical. His rants are fantastic. Whether you agree with him or not,
prisoners.
He's so funny. I love it. It's irreverent. It takes me back to. He's like punk rock. He just doesn't care color. He doesn't care, and I love that. But outside of that, he's a great writer, very creative, and he loves pulp stuff. Loves Robert E. Howard, and his audience do too. So, fingers crossed. That's not why I engaged with him. I just really like what he does, and I thought it'd be great to get a forward, and he invited me on. So that's superb. Thank you. If you're ever watching this, thank you.
I think you're seeing the audience for that kind of work growing, and I think that you're going to see it grow over the next 5 to 10 years, especially as some of this material starts hitting public domain. We're only 4 years away from Shadow and Doc Savage being open in public. So,
but once we finish our extensive run on the Atlantean, maybe that's where we go next. Who knows?
That's on my list. Actually, I would love to adapt a spider novel, because the spiders were a lot more raw and much more violent than the Shadow stuff. So, and the Shadow stuff was pretty hard too.
I love that when the Superpowers project that Dynamite did with Alex Ross and others that brought back the Green Hornet, the Shadow, Daredevil, all those, Death-defying Daredevil.
I got another generation of in the Clayton family too that I had done some time ago, Silver Wraith, because Green Hornet and
Lone Ranger are connected.
Yes, exactly. And that used to be prevalent to about World War II. And then it just kind of, but they've been kind of slowly coming back to that.
Yeah, they created that at WXYZ out of Detroit, both Lone Ranger and Green Hornet.
How do you guys feel about Solomon Kane?
Yeah,
it's
love
fun.
it. Yeah,
great stuff.
I have a confession here. I only found out realized the other day that Howard did Solomon Kane. Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know that. I didn't get that connection.
And he did Solomon because he couldn't sell Cull. He was having he'd done a bunch of Cull. He got paid huge for Shadow Kingdom. The guy who did Weird Tales paid him like top writing level. It's top writing anyway. You go through and read the story, you'll see that. But he paid really good for that story. So Howard sent him a bunch of other ones, and he didn't want them.
Now, he would take it and chop it up, right? He would get many issues out of that one story.
Well, no, right? He was, I won't say obsessive, but when he came up, he'd come up with a character, he'd start making notes, and he'd have 5 or 6 different stories, and he'd sit there and type them all out and start sending them out.
But I mean, the publisher, was it printed in sort of like chapters?
It all depends.
It all one big thing?
It all depended upon the story itself. Sometimes they'd serialize them, and sometimes they'd run it as a novel in the pulp magazine. Yeah.
They're all supposed to be canonically related as well, aren't they?
Cole, to Howard,
and Solomon Kane.
Yeah. All of those guys are it's the same mind, same lineage, and he's got them.
Forgive my ignorance, but what time period is Solomon Kane? Like what?
Solomon Kane's in the 1600s.
Okay, I thought so. Yeah,
he's unless you count Steve Castigan and some of the other historical novel characters that he wrote. To me, he's the oldest of he's the oldest of the barbarians. That's what I love about the youngest comics. Of the barbarians.
It's like doctoring. You can study it forever. It's infinite. You know.
Well, remember the old Philip Jose Farmer books that he did, Tarzan Alive, and I think it was Doc Savage Forever, where he showed everybody was connected. All of these old pulp characters are all related to each other.
Cull and Conan are like 100,000 years ago or something, aren't they?
There's centuries between them. Yeah,
that's
because the Hyborian age is after Atlantis has fallen.
Yeah. The Hyborian age is like tens of thousands of years before Christ. It's a long way back.
Yeah,
that's why you can do whatever you want to do.
It's almost in a forgotten age. It's so
very much so. Yeah.
And why it becomes timeless as well, because it's set in this world, but it's not. You know, so you can just sort of add all kinds of stuff in there.
Where they have giant spiders. You remember giant spiders, right?
Yeah. Like I said, tits and dragons.
There's such a great passage in Shadow Kingdom where Cull shows you where he is in history, or in that timeline where all of these monsters and all of these races are all considered to be long dead, but they're not. You know, and that was part of that was part of the problem in Shadow Kingdom, is he's trying to wrap his head around the fact that they're shape-shifting lizard people.
Kind of like our politicians. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah, exactly.
Now,
Brian says, Russ, the voice of experience.
Yeah, that's about the porn.
Those Dell Lone Ranger covers are, explosive, hot. Yeah, gold and Dell and Gold Key comics covers. So also tasteful stuff, great stuff. Yep, absolutely right. And nobody, hardly anybody talks about the Dell stuff. I need to do a show here and cover some of the funny animal material, especially Carl Barks material. Just unbelievably phenomenal work. That hardly anybody considers or talks about anymore. So lots of great stuff, lots of great comics, folks.
That
go out
stuff
there,
I
enjoy.
I appraised for one of my, in 82, 83, I had a comic shop. I was a junior in high school, so I wasn't old at all. But I had a partner, and we went in and started a comic shop. And one of my people that came in and frequented, person that came in and frequented and bought from us, he had sold off like all the superhero stuff and stuff like that. but he had these Dale, Carl Barks. He had the first Woolworth giveaway with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Anyway, even 40 years ago, guys, these things were worth in near mint shape. Now, I didn't try and grade them. I just tried to appraise it for him. I said, you determine the grade, okay? But I gave him the good to near mint and was able to look up everything for him, fortunately. But you got to have those guides, and you get because he had some obscure, like, promo or Christmas, and and when you get into that Dale stuff, the numbering's different. But I was able to do it, and even back then they were worth like $600 and something, which was
some of them,
money
very key issues, So you never know with Dell and their movie adaptions who's going to do the artwork on it, or how big the movie's going to be, or anything like that. They just did them. So same thing. With
I love their 4-color run, because it could be anything. It could be Wanted, Dead or Alive, from a TV series, a movie series, an animated series. It didn't matter. It was all over the place. And I think the very first one was not even numbered, and it was Dick Tracy.
Back then they just did, to keep a regular numbering was great for the distributors,
and to keep the presses running, right?
That's what
that too. A lot of comics was keep those presses running.
That's really what comics were to start with. The tinfoil age is here. Goblin. There we are. That King Kong one was was great drawn. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got that one from the late 60s.
Folks, we got to go. See you back next Friday. Maybe we'll do some more Cimmerian.
Yeah,
I'll go through and see if
there's. Wait. Yes, we'll be back, but we'll be back Sunday too, right?
And we'll be here Sunday and taking a look at Frazetta.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So
we don't want to miss that.
Don't miss that. We might have a crowded room. I'm not sure, because a lot of people are Frazetta. Oh, I need to be there. So
they just need to get in the queue.
That's right. Yeah. Next Sunday, this Sunday, 9 a.m. We'll do that. Next Friday, probably more Cimmerian, and we'll see everybody then.
Cool.
Deeply appreciate you watching.
Thank you.
Make sure you leave a like or a comment. If there's anything you want us to look at, we'd be more than happy to consider that. Leave a suggestion in the comment. So any type of interaction on any of the platforms that we're on just helps our algorithms and helps us go out and be seen more.
I hear that if it's a positive or negative comment, it doesn't matter. That helps better than hitting the like button. Leave a comment.
Leave a comment. Say hi.
Just say hi. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. See you next Friday. See you next Sunday at 9 a.m. or this Sunday at 9 a.m. See you next Friday at 5 a.m. We'll be back then. Take care, everybody. Thanks again for watching. We got a lot of people watching us, so we deeply appreciate you folks. There we are. Yeah, Rudolph.
Watch more Indie Comics Network.
Yes.
Buy alternative and independent comics, especially
ours.
Shadow Kingdom, funmycomic.com, Devil Flyer, Hatch Annotated. Go over there and take a look.
Go find
a lot of great
comics over at
funmycomic. Funmycomic.com, folks. See ya.
See ya.
Till next time. See you on the next one.
Check.
What was that? This is not a charade. We need total concentration. Now, once again, this time, with theory.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Can't nobody tell me nothing.
How dare you?
Get off my lawn.
bitch. I love this shit.
Holy shit. That is the craziest thing I have ever seen. And I'm Dennis Quaid, and Dennis Quaid has seen some shit.
In the time before Atlantis sank and the lands of the world were savage and untamed, one man would claim his destiny. Leaving his Atlantean tribe behind and throwing off the shackles of Cimmerian bondage, he sailed the seas as a pirate captain before seizing his place as a king. And now that he has the throne, how long will he be able to keep it? This is the Shadow Kingdom, the classic sword and sorcery tale by Robert E. Howard, adapted by Randy Zimmerman, with artwork by Russ Leach. Available now at funmycomic.com.
We can't leave without this.
Taste the biscuit. Taste the goodness of the biscuit. Taste the honey sauce. Taste the goodness of the biscuit with the honey sauce.